What's going on, guys? You got RP Rock here, and today I'm at Solace, New York, 24-hour gym here because I'm about to be the professor that'll take you guys to school. So I'm a seasoned powerlifter. I've done over half a dozen powerlifting meets, been competing since 2019. I am by no means a bench press specialist, but I have an over 400-pound bench in a meet as well as in training, and I think I'm somewhat qualified to talk about the topic. So today, I'll be showing you 5 must-do warm-ups before you bench press. All right, so the first of these exercises I like to call the chest band pull-apart. Basically, the idea is to warm up your pecs, your chest, and it's gonna be similar to like the muscles you'd be hitting with a simple chest fly, but it feels a little more targeted to me because you're really focusing on the most tension in that furthest pulled apart position, which is kind of similar to bench press, where as you lower the weight down, you're gonna feel the most tension in your chest at the very bottom. So I think it mocks the bench press very well in that way. So we're just gonna be taking this band here. This band has 30 pounds of resistance, so not a whole lot, but also not too light. You can honestly take any type of band. These are the tubular bands, but you could have flat bands. It'd probably honestly be better. But the idea is you grab both ends. I like wrap mine apart just to kind of double the resistance. You're gonna hold it out in front of you, just pull it apart. Try to keep your arms pretty straight here, and you're just pulling it apart to your chest. Try not to overarch your back as you do it, or you're kind of gonna defeat the purpose of the chest stretch itself. So try to keep your back pretty straight throughout, and you're just gonna be pulling it apart like this and slowly bringing it back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that about 20 times in this kind of parallel to the ground position, then 10 times kind of diagonal at this 45-degree angle, and then 10 times the other 45-degree angle, just to kind of get warmed up there. I usually like to finish it off with kind of an above angle here, just pulling it down to kind of involve a little more lat activation, if that makes sense. So let's get to it. A little tired here. That's the point. You want the blood to be kind of flowing into this area. That way, once you start the bench, you're not gonna be cold. So last one here is just this downward position. I'll do 10. Whew. And that's it. So that's the first exercise done. I like to call it the chest band pull aparts. Call it whatever you want as long as you're doing it. That's what's important. So now we have the chest warmed up. The next thing to do is to warm up both the triceps and the elbows. A lot of people, especially if you're benching frequently, I bench 3 times a week, you're gonna get some sort of elbow pain usually. And a good way to kind of avoid this as you're benching is kind of getting those reps in kind of the tricep extension position with kind of moderate resistance. That way the blood flow is already in there by the time you're benching. So for this, we're using a band again. This one has a little more resistance. This one's 35 pounds resistance, but the same type of band. Just drape it over a pull-up bar or a squat rack, whatever you need to do. And you're kind of just gonna hold it in a position where it's pretty much tight while your arm is parallel to the ground. And you're just gonna kind of extend it here. So you're really just focusing on that extension. I like to do about 20 each side, so that's what we're gonna do. Now you should already be feeling the pump coming at this point, which is good. Let me get the other side. I want to keep the upper body as upright as possible. That way you're not really cheating these reps. 8, 9, 10. And that's the second exercise. All right. So for the third exercise, I guess we would call this the banded straight arm lat pullovers. So one of the muscles that a lot of people forget to kind of warm up prior to a bench is going to be your lats. The whole point of a lat is as you're benching, you're going to retract your shoulders, and your lats are what you're using to kind of keep your arch structure in place, which not only protects your shoulders, but it also helps eliminate that range of motion. So very important and often forgotten muscle to warm up prior to the bench press. So you want to be able to place the band kind of in line of where your left shoulder is if you're starting left side, vice versa if you're starting the right side. Kind of back into it here. That way your arm is close to parallel with the band. So you can see the band is going diagonal here. So is my arm. Kind of bend into it as if you're kind of in an athletic stance, ready to pivot any direction. If you guys played football or rugby, you might understand that kind of athletic stance where you're pretty square. And now what you're gonna do is just pull your arms straight down, close to your lats, and back up. Notice my elbow is bending very minimally. You don't want too much elbow bend or else that's gonna be triceps. But the idea is kind of square off here, pull down and back, down and back. So I'm gonna do 10 reps on each side here. Now let's hit the other side. So you can see it's only 35 pounds, but this is not weight to be trifled with. I'd suggest keeping kind of a medium band, not going too heavy with it. But yeah, now our chest is warmed up, our triceps are warmed up, elbows are warmed up, lats are warmed up. Let's go to the fourth exercise. So thus far, we've warmed up the chest, triceps, elbows, lats. The next step would be the shoulders. So here, what I'm gonna do is kind of get into the bench press position. But now instead of keeping my legs down like this, I'm actually gonna kick them up on the edge of the bench. I'm gonna use a very close grip here. Now you guys have probably seen me do this in a lot of my videos, and you wonder what it is. So this will get into like a half bridge position, just about this. Grab the bar close grip, bring it down, kind of more to my stomach than to my chest, and pop it up. Just like that. Now, just to explain what I was doing there. So obviously I'm doing the half bridge position, which means you're not really hitting the bottom portion of that bench. There's gonna be less of a chest squeeze. But what you are doing is you're gonna be focusing more on the top part of the motion inherently, and that's a lot of the shoulders, so you're able to keep the shoulders warmed up that way. Also what I'm doing is I'm trying to bring the bar down as if I'm doing a bench press, nice and controlled, and just popping it up. So the idea there is just to get used to the motion before kind of putting a lot of pressure on the chest and like the back for the arching and everything like that. So yeah, let me do it just one more time. You guys just focus on the cues that I'm doing here. I don't know exactly what to call this. I guess we'll call it the semi-bridge close grip bench press. It's almost like it's a faux decline bench in the sense that you're bringing your stomach higher than your chest. So you can even think about it that way if that helps. And with there, now we've warmed up the chest, triceps, elbows, lats, shoulders. So we got one more exercise to go. So we've done 4 exercises thus far. The last one was kind of our first dipping our toes into the bench press. The next thing we're gonna do is need to add some blood flow to the biceps. The reason being, people forget that your biceps are involved in the bench press, but if you wanna bring the bar down as controlled as possible and kind of limit misgrooves as well as injury, it's important to have a little bit of blood flow in the biceps, as well as some ancillary blood flow into the elbows as well. So with this, we're gonna be doing a variation of hammer curls. I'll get to it right now. All right, so you're gonna wanna find a moderate weight here. These are 30 pounds each. So the idea is instead of just doing kind of your typical hammer curls, where you just kind of do them holding maybe at the top of the dumbbell here, you're actually hold them at the bottom. That's one difference. You're really focusing on kind of squeezing as hard as you can, so as you're moving this weight up, the dumbbell doesn't slip down your hand. And then the other kind of variation here is you're gonna be doing them very slow, kind of tempo, not even that many reps. So let me show you guys here. So you bring it up here, and then bring it up in kind of 1 second, and then you're gonna do a 3-second descent. So 1, 2, 3, next one. 1, 2, 3, next one. Now, the idea of doing this is you're controlling the eccentric part of the motion, which is kind of the decline here where you're fighting against gravity. Similarly to when you bench press, when you're lowering the weight, that's also the eccentric part, and that's when you're using the biceps the most. When you're lowering it, you're tightening the biceps and really focusing on that. So the idea here is it's a similar feeling, kind of bringing these down slowly and kind of squeezing the bars, another cue to really get kind of everything, the forearms a little more activated, as well as kind of the elbows and the biceps. So after you're doing this exercise, which I'll do another set here, you've officially warmed up your chest, your triceps, your elbows, your lats, your shoulders, your biceps, and even your forearms. So let's just do it one more time. This time I won't talk as I do it. With that, you are ready to bench. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.